late night grazing, aka binging. He is binging out on what did he mention?
Welcome back to the channel. We've had a lot of requests to make a response video to 100 days.
Which is a 100-day health and fitness challenge that John Green and his best friend Chris are doing.
They've got a whole YouTube channel dedicated to this challenge. It only has 60,000 subscribers, but
John Green, who is Hank Green's brother, is from Vlogbrothers with 3 million subs.
And John is also behind the channel Crash Course with 5.5 million subs.
So we've already made 2 reaction videos for John's brother Hank in the past, and today we're going to focus on John and his journey of health and fitness in 100 days.
Now, John's an academic and he seems quite out of his comfort zone when it comes to health and fitness. Let's hear what his intention is.
Hi, I'm John Green, and in 2017, my best friend Chris and I are going to spend 100 days doing whatever it takes to make lasting, meaningful, healthy changes in our lives. We're trying to have a healthy midlife crisis.
So John says he's prepared to do whatever it takes to get these results, which is fantastic. And yet we're a little skeptical when we hear this.
We are, because we hear this a lot, but a lot of people, or most people, aren't actually prepared to do what it takes.
Yeah.
After all, Margaret Mead has the quote, "It's easier to change a man's religion than to change his diet."
Yeah, and that's so true. I mean, just from our personal experience when we were doing online coaching, we were absolutely shocked by how many people would contact us, would even pay us, and either not even start the program or not finish it. You know, even though they would all start off with their initial email saying, "I'm prepared to do whatever it takes." And it's like, yes and no.
Yeah.
Yes and no.
It reminds us of the Meatloaf song, "I will do anything for love, but I won't do that." So, I will do anything
for health and
fitness, but I won't do that.
Yeah, and what is that? That's what we're going to talk about in this video.
Having said this, it's great to see that John is interested in his health and fitness, that it's even on his radar, and that he's open to trying anything.
All right, to set this up, John tells his dietitian.
I mean, to be honest with you, Kim, before this, I almost never ate before about 5 o'clock. So I wake up, go, and then like when the work day is over, I eat.
Wow, not eating before 5 o'clock. That is seriously slowing down John's metabolism, which is making him a very efficient fat storer. And we were wondering, what is he running on? He's a very busy person doing lots throughout the day. We're presuming caffeine, you know, the body needs some source of energy, some kind of fuel. So that's not great.
No, and it's clear that John doesn't have a very healthy relationship with food. Like most people, us included at one point. I remember there was a point when I'd have a very small breakfast and then I wouldn't eat lunch until 4 o'clock in the afternoon because I was so busy during the day. So I can definitely relate to John.
Yeah, we've all been there at some point in our lives. Yeah. Now, before we go on, no, we are not qualified dietitians, nutritionists, or doctors.
However, most doctors receive little to no formal nutrition education, and most dietitians and nutritionists have a conflict of interest.
So who to listen to?
Qualified dietitians and nutritionists whose training is biased, or qualified doctors with little to no formal nutrition education.
Or to unqualified people, that's us, relaying the best available balance of science as promoted by leading plant-based doctors. The rational choice would be the science.
So we're not going to speak about everything that John and Chris have eaten and done so far. They have many videos that you can watch if you want the full details.
But we don't actually need to watch every single video they've made and to learn about every single detail of what they're eating and what they're doing, because this health and fitness program is basically like every other health and fitness program. They're all the same.
Yeah, if it's not a 100% plant-based diet focused predominantly on whole plant foods, there's really only the one way that you lose weight, which is calorie counting, calorie restricting, portion control, monitoring food groups, excessive exercising.
Yeah. They're all kind of the same thing, and basically not eating anywhere near as abundantly and satisfyingly as you would want.
So the dietitian gave them this meal plan at the beginning of the program, and it could have changed since then.
But already you can see that they've got, you know, fruits, vegetables, grains, and then the protein group.
Now, alarm bells go off straight away because, of course, protein is not a food group. It's a macronutrient. All whole plant foods contain protein.
Yeah, but of course we all think of protein as meat, as flesh, because that's how it's promoted.
The USDA has a dual mandate and conflict of interest of promoting US animal agriculture and also setting the nutrition dietary guidelines for all Americans. And so what ends up happening is, in order to sell more animal products, they exploit consumers' existing fear of not getting enough protein, a myth which they've historically propagated, by mislabeling a food group as a macronutrient, which most consumers have been conditioned to associate primarily with animal products.
So after the protein group, we have dairy and oils. Now, if you're looking to lose weight and get healthy,
The last thing you want to eat is baby cow growth formula.
I mean,
because that's what it is.
That's right. It's exactly what it is. It's designed to make a baby cow grow very big. So why would we as humans want to eat something that is designed to grow things, to enlarge, if we want to lose weight? It doesn't
Defies
make
logic.
sense. That's
no.
right.
And then when it comes to oils are 100% fat calories.
Yeah.
Why would we be eating liquid fat if our goal was to lose weight?
Yeah, and people think that it's a natural food, but it's not. No plant food in nature is only one macronutrient.
Exactly.
Nothing is just carbs, nothing is just protein, nothing is just fats. They're a combination of all three. So,
And yet the protein and the carbohydrates have been extracted from
Yes.
the plant foods, leaving just the fat calories. So it's refined, it is of little nutritive value.
and very unnatural to us. We're not supposed to eat 100% fat calories, okay? So again, these things are not going to help somebody lose weight. They're going to only help somebody gain weight.
Or maintain their existing weight.
That's right. 1 gram of fat equals 9 calories.
Which is more than twice 1 gram of carbohydrates or protein.
So it really didn't make sense to us. You can see they're allowed to have 6 teaspoons of oil, 2 cups of dairy, and then you can see all the rest of what they're allowed to eat. And this is the other thing. Only 2.5 cups of fruits and 3.5 cups of vegetables and 10 ounces of grains. Now,
once again,
this is a
alarm bells
diet.
go off
Yeah.
when you're limiting the amount of fruits, vegetables, and whole
Yeah.
grains that one consumes. I mean,
No.
they should be consumed in abundance and
as much as
you care for.
You know, I mean, for example, we would eat between us every single day 1 hand of bananas.
It's clearly
not
more than
2.5
2.5 cups each.
You know, when we're eating vegetables, we're not measuring out 3.5 cups each. We're eating, well, we're
Copious
showing you right
amounts,
now,
yeah.
huge amounts of vegetables. Now, the only reason...
Same thing with whole grains.
That's right, yeah. There's no, oh gosh, 10 ounces of grains. Blow that out the window. The reason why this program needs to have these calculated amounts of plant foods set aside is because they're also including meat, dairy, eggs, oil, right? So because those animal products and oil are so much higher in fat and protein and calories, you need to therefore calculate and restrict how much plant foods. Otherwise, it's all going to add up, and you know you're going to be eating much more than your body needs, and you're going to be gaining weight.
Exactly. Now, most meal plans that are aimed at, weight loss, they have a very calorie restrictive amount.
Yes.
So when I saw 2,800, I was actually quite surprised, as I'm sure you were too. That's generally a lot higher than most weight loss programs, which would be,
Yes.
at least under 2,000 calories.
Yeah.
But then also eyeballing the little amounts of the various food groups, we were thinking, is that really going to add up to 2,800 calories? So we plugged the numbers into Chronometer.
And it was very interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, we got 1,651 calories to be exact.
So that's about 1,150 calories less
Yeah.
than what they're actually allowed to eat.
So I don't know if something changed during the program where they were allowed to eat more, or I don't know.
Yeah.
But
and then we also saw the
interestingly,
macronutrient ratio, didn't we?
yes, I mean here you can see it is 26% in protein,
Way too much.
over 30% in fats,
Way too much.
and 43.6% in carbs.
No way near enough.
Very low.
Now, even though this macronutrient ratio is within the current USDA dietary guidelines, we have to recall the USDA's conflict of interest that we spoke about earlier and why those guidelines are set the way they are.
So if we take a look at a few examples of John's meals, you can see here he's got a snack, which we presume is breakfast, 1 slice of toast with oils. Does that mean he's put oil on the toast?
I don't know, that was very confusing.
Yeah.
That's weird. Who would eat that?
And then he has another snack of popcorn, All right. And then we go straight to dinner. So that's not a lot of calories for a grown man, especially working out as hard as they are during this program. All right, here's another example of his meals on another day. We have a slice of toast and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 pieces of fruit, 5 little squares.
Well, you've got to stick within the 2.5 cups.
That would tear our heart out. I mean, we love fruit.
And it looks like a coffee there because, of course, you're going to
It's not
need
getting enough
caffeine
energy.
if you're not getting enough energy from your food.
That's right. Okay, and then lunch. That looks like the amount of food that you would give to a child,
It really
a small
does, doesn't
child.
it?
It's not very much there. Maybe the total of 1 small potato.
There's certainly no way these meals are going to total 2,800 at the end of the day, are they?
No. And then dinner, it looks like he's got...
This was the best looking meal, wasn't it?
This looks pretty good because he's got beans in there in that mixture
Even
of
though the
vegetables.
proteins has the little chicken symbol,
Yeah,
maybe there is animal protein in there
Maybe
and we just
can't see it, but it looks really good. If it doesn't have meat, then that's fantastic. So where has this diet left John?
In the last 2 weeks, I've been terrible. I've been totally off the rails, both in terms of tracking my food and what I actually eat.
Okay. Anything in particular?
Processed carbohydrates,
Yeah.
goldfish crackers, granola bars, cookies.
Late night grazing, aka binging. He is binging out on what did he mention?
refined carbohydrates.
Because that's what his body is seeking, carbs, and it needs more calories, so it's going towards calorically dense foods, which are more refined foods.
Yeah, if John were eating enough sweet potatoes, white potatoes, whole grain rice, other whole grains,
Not limiting his fruit and vegetables.
he wouldn't be craving all of those other processed carbohydrate refined foods.
So this clip here from John tells us very clearly that this diet is just a diet and it is not sustainable, because if you end up binging with whatever diet plan you're on, that means that it's not satisfying, it's not satiating, you're not feeding your body enough of the right foods. So the two key things here, enough of the right things, and therefore it's going to lead to a binge.
And if you don't teach people how to eat in a totally sustainable and satisfying way, then when they end up going away on holiday, they're going to go for things like processed meats.
Yeah, I mean, this platter here that his friend Chris ate,
It's cancer on a plate.
It is.
According to the World Health Organization, processed meats are classified as a class 1 carcinogen together with tobacco and asbestos.
So he has to work out so hard to work these calories off when there's just no need for it. It's not giving him anything.
In fact, other than increasing his risk of developing cancer.
Yeah. Here's the great thing. Once you get all those animal products out of your diet and your diet is 100% plant foods, and then you focus the majority of your calories around whole plant foods, not exclusively but predominantly, you crave what you eat every day.
So when you go away on holiday, you're going to be craving fruit, vegetables,
Yes.
whole grains, legumes, leafy greens, some nuts and seeds.
the same thing you're eating every day
Exactly.
in your regular routine. So you're not going to be drawn towards the junky food, the fatty food, the animal products. You're just not going to feel like them anymore.
A sustainable diet, like the one we're talking about, not like the one that Chris and John are currently doing, should not feel hard or restrictive. It simply takes education and consistency. And then the we crave what we eat daily kicks in, and you're giving the body what it wants. Whole plant foods, high in carbohydrates, so that the body can receive sufficient glucose to the cells of the brain and the muscle cells of the body. And when you eat enough calories from these whole plant foods, you won't have these late night binges, and therefore that's what makes this diet sustainable.
And yes, there are many other factors to consider for weight loss, like exercise, sleep, hydration, medical history, any medication, hormones, etc., etc. It goes on and on. But if we're just talking about or just focusing on the food aspect, whole plant foods is what you want to focus on.
And you can't out-exercise a bad diet. And that's why the tagline of Dr. John McDougall, who has been specializing in helping people lose weight and keep it off for life for over 40 years, is "It's the food."
So John, if you really are prepared to do whatever it takes to get fit and healthy and lose some weight, we suggest you switch to a whole plant foods diet. Drop the animal products, ditch the oil and other refined foods. And you can also check out
The Forks Over Knives website and read through the testimonials of all of the people that have experienced wonderful weight loss results, health and fitness gains by following a predominantly whole plant foods diet.
That's our video for today, guys. Hope you found this helpful. Please share it with John. We'll link his social media down below.
Leave a comment down below, give the video a like if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already.
Don't forget to ding the bell and check the box to receive notifications for our upcoming videos.
And remember until next time that going vegan is not the most we can do.
It's the least we can do. See you next video.
Bye guys. So in this dressing, the fat is the tahini, the acid is the apple cider vinegar, the salt is the soy sauce, and the spice is the cayenne pepper, and as we said, the sweet is the corn. And we've been having this kind of grain, veg, legume salad for a couple of weeks now and really enjoying them.
All right, for dinner tonight,